Hey guys, welcome back. So today we are in the process of transforming our back section of our garden here. It is a very long expanse. It is roughly about, I think, 75 foot towards the house and about 45 foot wide along the back end of the property, which then L's over into our future fire pit area. This area was just sprayed with a herbicide in order to kill the lawn. I know this isn't something that normally everybody would want to do, but if you use it correctly and safely, you're fine to do it. It does not stay in the yard for more than a week. After that, you can plant in it, which I already have. This has actually been set up already now for roughly about a month, but we just finally got in a product to help us edge out the garden beds. Because this is so long, it would take forever with a step edger in order to get those nice, deep, sharp lines, keeping mulch in, keeping the grass out. It's just a battle I'm not ready to handle. So we were lucky enough to get in touch with our friends over at EdgeRite, and they sent us out some cordon steel edging. So this is what the product looks like when you get it. It is serrated at the bottom, so when you're tamping it in, it actually digs in and stays in. This is roughly about 6 inches height, and they recommend that you keep it out about 3 inches above the ground. Now, as this goes through the weather, it is going to rust, so you'll get that rusted cordon steel look, which is very on trend at this point. I'm really excited about it. We've already installed some of it, which we'll show you here in a few, and it's starting to rust already. And you can see there's some interesting little designs in it that may or may not come through as it rusts, but I really like the look of it. Within the package, you're going to be getting a few things to help you along. So EdgeRite does send you out a few things to help you along with the process. They're going to send you out some blocks. These are for when you're using a rubber mallet to tamp these in, which have been really helpful. We've gone through about 2 to get this section done, so you may, depending on just how many you need, you may need a little bit more, and also depending what mallet you're using. Also come with stakes that go in between your connections so that it gives a nice clean look, also to hold the pieces together so that they don't separate in the ground. These are very easy to drive into. Again, they do have that pointed end right here, which will help drive them in. So they also did send out a rubber mallet, which we actually have in our garage. I'm using a little bit heavier one to get the process done because we have rocky soil through here, which will help drive it in a little bit better. There is an instruction pamphlet here, and there's also a video I will link down in the description below to their site that shows you the same process and how to install it, but we're going to show you as well here. And then your products are going to come in packaged just like this. They are heavy, so be warned, you are probably going to need some help to get them going depending on how many you are receiving. Here we've got 4 now, and we've used about 4 already. A few other things that you're going to need to help this process along is a step edger or some type of edging machine. We went ahead and stepped in all of this. You can also use your garden hose while you're at it to soften up the ground to make it easier. You're just essentially coming in with the step edger here and creating a line just to make it easy enough for you to go ahead and drive that in. If you're creating a new bed, I would suggest pulling a string line if it's a straight area, or you can go organic with your shapes and such. This does bend relatively easy to get around curved areas and such, and we'll show you here in just a minute how we do our edges. Gloves are essential because you're going to be using some type of tool to drive this in, whether it's a rubber mallet. This one actually is a sled. If you know you have relatively level ground or a level area to work with, you can pull out a level. In our case, our yard kind of slopes, so we're kind of just going with the grade as best we can to get the look that we want. And then the last thing is just a simple box cutter just to open up the packages. It makes it easier. So like we said, we already went ahead and stepped in the edge here. We did that along this area as well, and we'll kind of show you how this looks now. In these sections where the pieces do conjoin, we did drive down one of the covers, and this just keeps them in place from separating and just gives it a nice cleaner look. We've gone around the edges here to this area right here. We did not bend the area because of the height difference here. So we just met them. We're going to come through and try to figure out how we can get this a little bit more seamless. And then this area we have to fill back in with dirt because you can see that my line was not correct when I created this bed. So as you can see here, as we were watering down, it has started in getting that rusted effect, which I'm really excited about. It'll help blend in with the garden a little bit better. And then as we move down here, we've already done 2 corners. This one is rounded. You could get them sharper if you'd like. I think this is a little bit easier, especially with your mower and such. It'll be able just to roll right around. Weed whackers up against this isn't going to be a problem either. It's just going to help this patina a little bit better as well. If you have pets in your area, these edges are relatively smooth. Obviously there is a hard edge, but I don't see any problems in the future, other than maybe just tripping into the bed if they decide they want to come running in when they're not supposed to. Right, Marlo? So let's go ahead and get started on this corner. We're going to show you how to bend one of the pieces. It's really, really easy. And then we're just going to go ahead and start installing it all the way up. We have about 75 feet to go. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and do this bend right here. Like I said, it's just gonna be just a little bit of a curve in it. We're not gonna be able to get that straight line. But all I'm doing is just kind of rough guesstimating. You want to overlap the piece a little bit so that when we go and put our pieces on, that it covers that. So I know roughly right about here in this notch is where I'm gonna bend. I'm just gonna simply take the piece of wood, line it up here with that. I'm gonna come in closer. And I'm gonna put my knee right here, holding down on the other side, and I'm just gonna go ahead and bend the piece. You're probably gonna have to put a little bit of effort into this. It is thicker steel. I think it's what, roughly 16 gauge. Go. And, oh, Jesus, don't get that. And just go ahead and bend it in. That's good enough for me. The idea is just to get a 90-degree angle. So just going in from right there, I'm gonna line it up with the line that I have new and bring it in. And just by pushing it in, because we've already tamped this in, it's sliding in, it's into position, and I'm just gonna go back in with the piece of steel. I'm gonna tamp here first and then work my way in the middle section, and that'll keep it from rocking back and forth on us. All right, so you can see right here how this is separated, and that's where these pins are going to come into handy. I didn't exactly overlap this as much as I should have, but it'll be fine. So I'm going to be taking this pin, just sliding it over both of them, just like that. And then I'm going to go back in with my hammer or mallet. Really should be using the piece of wood. Just going to try to get that as straight as possible, and there, that'll keep that from separating, just like that. So we're going to go ahead and do this entire line and get it going. We're going to go up to about where you see the garden hose up there. That's where we're stopping, because we are going to run in some tree roots, and I don't want to affect that tree any more than it is. So we're going to put this up and do a time lapse of this now. So So the last thing I'm going to do is, you can see this grass here, some of the weeds that have already come in, even though we've mulched down. What I'm gonna do is, all the cardboard that this has come with, I'm gonna rake back my mulch, and then I'm gonna place this down up against the edge, and then put my mulch back over this and water this in. This will deteriorate over time, and I'm repurposing some of the material that came with it. So that'll be the last thing. I'm gonna speed this part up and show you just how good everything looks in the end. All right, so there we go. Check it out. Doesn't that look so good? A nice clean edge, mulch contained, grass kept out, and all I did was put that cardboard down right in here, and then put my mulch right over on top of it. Actually, you can see a little bit poking out. I actually had to use a little bit of newspaper as well to help, because I didn't have enough. But the one thing I would tell you is, when you do your cut in, you can kind of see that it's kind of waved, and that's because these are 4-foot long sections. I think we forgot to mention that. And what it is we did our step in, and then we rocked it back and forth to separate the soil. What I would do is, I would just do a straight cut down and leave it at that, and try to be up and down with your step edger best you can. This can easily be fixed, but it doesn't bother me that much, because I'm going to be sitting back and looking at it from this view more than I'm going to be looking down at it. But I'm so happy with the finished result. We're getting more plants put in here, and we're just so happy with that. Sorry, neighbor with their trash. But I hope you guys have enjoyed this video, and I hope you guys give Edgerite a try. They have been really great to work with, and check out their website. I'll link it below. Have a good one. Bye.